Brought to you by Penguin.
Blindside by James Patterson, read by Danny Mastrogiorgio. Chapter 1. I did everything I could to distract Lucille Evans from noticing the bloody footprint. A responding patrol officer had tracked the blood into the hallway. One look at the scene inside, and the veteran needed to run into the street. I didn't blame him one bit. The forensics people were in the small two-bedroom apartment on the third floor of this building on 146th Street near Willis Avenue in the Bronx. The scene was so horrendous that the local detectives had called me to help even though it wasn't technically considered part of Manhattan North Homicide's usual territory. 2 of the local detectives had lost it. It happens. It's happened to me over the years. I lost it once at the scene of a murdered girl. Her stepfather had bashed her head in for crying because she was hungry. She reminded me of my own Shauna, staring up through blood splatters. When I heard her stepfather in the other room talking with detectives, I snapped. It almost felt like another being possessed me. I burst into the room ready to kill. Only the fact that my partner at the time, Gail Nodding, was as tough as nails and shoved me back out the door had kept me from killing the creep. Now I considered this bloody scene. Who wouldn't be affected by the sight of 2 bodies with bullet wounds in their heads, large caliber wounds? Not the usual 38s or 9mm used in the city. The bodies frozen in time. The mother trying to shield her little girl. I wanted to bolt home and hug my own children, but I had work to do. I had my hands full with the 65-year-old woman who merely wanted to say goodbye to her daughter and granddaughter. Mrs. Evans tried to push past me to open the simple wooden door with the number 9 hanging upside down. The threadbare industrial carpet didn't give my feet much traction. My semi-dressed Skechers were more for walking comfort than for wrestling. Mrs. Evans said, "Let me pass, young man. I have to see my babies." She wasn't loud, she wasn't hysterical. She was determined. So was I. I said, "Ma'am, I'm not in charge, but I do have kids. I know loss. You don't want what you see inside that apartment to be your final memory of your daughter and granddaughter. Please, I swear to God, you'll get your chance to say goodbye." She stared me down as hard as any drug dealer ever had, but I was resolute. I'd already seen the horror behind the door. I wasn't about to let this elegant, retired teacher see it too. Her daughter, still in her nurse's uniform from the Bronx Lebanon Hospital, the left side of her face missing from a single devastating gunshot, lying over her daughter, a 9-year-old with a hole in the side of her head. This time, too, the girl reminded me of my Shauna. The whole scene had shaken me to the core. Never believe a cop when he or she tells you they've seen it all. Nobody ever sees it all. Mrs. Evans cracked. Tears started to flow. It had finally hit her with full force. 2 of her greatest treasures had been taken from her. Her watery eyes looked up at me again. She simply asked, "Why?" She started to weep. I put a tentative arm around her. She fell into me and I hugged her. I remembered how I'd felt when Maeve, my wife, died. That was a slow death from cancer. It still tore me to pieces. This poor woman had been blindsided. I eased her onto one of the cheap plastic chairs a detective had set up in the apartment's hallway. A little African-American girl peeked out of one of the doorways down the hall. The light at the end of the hall near the stairs flickered. Why would someone shoot a nurse and her little girl? Why did someone like Mrs. Evans have to suffer through this? How would I hold it all together? I had to. It was my job. Chapter 2. The uniform.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?